Providence Streets Coalition, which is a group of about 25 partners and 35 businesses and nonprofits and schools and everyday people that support safer streets and more transportation choices. I want to start by saying that our organization did not exist during the Eaton Street thing, and we fully acknowledge the limited community engagement that occurred for that, and we fully mourn how that project turned out. And we do not want to see it happen again. So I think we all agree. Yeah, no problem.
I didn't realize that. So that's actually good.
Yeah, we just launched in December, so that happened before. Because of that, we have been, in order to prevent another 8th Street from happening, we have been doing robust community engagement. For the past 3 weeks, we've had canvassers knocking on doors on Broad Street. We did about 400 doors this weekend, 400 the last weekend, 400 the weekend before that, to talk about tomorrow's meeting, to invite neighbors to come, to talk about the project, what exactly is happening. The city does what they do. We don't think it's enough, so we're doing more. We are trying to increase the amount of community engagement that's happening around these projects so that more people know and are educated and informed. That's our mission here. So, tonight, threw me for a loop. This whole thing is different, so I'm going to try to address some of the stuff that has gone down. First of all, thank you for responding to our major concern about the property owner requirement. Thank you for listening and changing. I think this proposal to put all of the Great Streets projects before the CPC is interesting. I think it's a step in the right direction, but I'm concerned that Providence is undergoing so much growth right now, which is great. We have cranes in the sky in a pretty big way, and I believe the CPC is pretty burdened by the review process for all of those private developments. So I am concerned that, again, that this is still adding a level of red tape to projects that are urgently needed. Listen, my fiancé right here got hit by a bus on his bike today. Okay? There are paramedics. Like, this happens every single day.
Is this the gentleman?
Yes, he's right here.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I thought it was this guy with the leg.
Yeah. This happens every single day, and a matter of weeks, that's fine. But I don't think that's the case in this. I think it would be months, if not years. Okay, so that is really, really concerning to me. And not even just about safety, which is of the utmost concern, matter of life and death. The climate crisis. We are out of time to make these changes. We're completely out of time, and we have no time left. So, however we can streamline this, we should be streamlining this process, not adding more layers to it. Cars and trucks make up 30% of our carbon emissions. I know you've done a great job reducing or banning plastic bags in the city. That's amazing. We need to keep going. 30% of carbon emissions come from cars and trucks, okay? We have to provide alternatives to driving so that people can get around without a car. It's just what has to happen. It is what is happening in cities around the world. Providence is about 20 years behind, and we cannot keep slowing this process down to keep us behind. We should be moving forward. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here. Snow, I wanna talk about snow. On average, it snows 18 days per year in Providence. This year, it was like 2. Okay, that's because of this climate crisis. Can we stop talking about snow plowing and start talking about
That's a big topic with council people.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, can we just stop though? There's 346 days a year without snow. We need to build for that, okay? We will figure it out. Chicago, Boston, Montreal, like in Oulu, Finland, they have 30% of people riding bikes all year round. And it's above the Arctic Circle. Like, we will figure it out. We will figure out how to snowplow bike lanes. We moved rivers in this town. We've moved highways. We can build safe bike infrastructure. Will it be perfect the first time around?
No.
Maybe not. Clearly not. Clearly not. But we are starting a thing. We are starting a thing. It started in a bad way. And I mourn that. And I hear those residents who walked out their door and all of a sudden there was a brand new, the first one in the state, and it wasn't implemented perfectly. But let's try to move past that. because we need these things. The two-way design, what I want to talk about, Dr. Berry said that we wanted one-way bike lanes on each side of the street. Listen, the reason that planning has adopted this two-way design is because it saves space on the street. It saves space for parking, and it saves space for driving. If Eaton Street would not have had the space to have a one-way bike lane on each side of the street, which the national standard is 5 feet per bikeway, and a buffer. There was not space. There wasn't space to have the one-way protected bike lanes.
There wasn't space for a two-lane bike lane. Just saying.
Okay, so this two-way design is to protect parking. That's why we're doing that on Broad Street and Broadway, to protect parking. Okay. Do I think that we should be putting in bike signals at every major intersection? Yes, definitely. Absolutely. That will cost a lot more money. Do I think that it's proven around the world that the gold standard of bike lanes happen when they're at the sidewalk level instead of in the street, right? But that costs a lot more money than $20 million. So this is the first phase.
Do you agree on the $20 million cost that's been?
That's not enough. That's not enough. It's not
That's the amount that
enough.
has been thrown out. As
Oh, I actually don't know. I'm just you said it. I'll say it. Representing the cars. AAA is on our coalition. I want to bring that up. Lloyd and Diana have been wonderful partners. AAA recognizes that cities are choking on traffic and that we have to provide. We can't. Nobody is enjoying driving in the city. They try to do things for the drivers, and part of that is getting anyone who doesn't have to drive out of a car, so that people who do have to drive and do like to drive can actually get where they're going without sitting in traffic for a billion years because a perfectly able-bodied person who would like to ride a bike but won't because it's not safe isn't making that choice. We're trying to provide choices, okay? The last thing that I'm going to say is for you, Councilwoman Matos, about that there is a mountain of science, and I am happy to send it to all of you, that shows that when you put bike infrastructure on a street, safety goes up for everyone, especially pedestrians. And that's because when we're talking about two-way bike lanes, if you have 10 feet of space plus a 2-foot buffer, that's 12 feet that a pedestrian is crossing a bikeway. Yes, coming into conflict with people riding bikes, but they're 30 pounds, not 2,000 pounds. Okay, so you're reducing the crossing distance of people crossing traffic. So every single street that has bike infrastructure on it is better for people crossing the street. There's so much data to support that. I will send it to you. I will send it to you. There is also so much data to support the fact that when you provide streets where people can walk and bike, business goes up. This is, I cannot tell you how many cities have done these studies. We're asking for more studies, more information. It already exists. One of the benefits for us being 20 years behind is that all of this data all of this research has been done, okay? For the past 20, 30 years. There is rational, informed design that we can follow from cities around the world, and we can do it here too, and we can benefit from what they've learned and bring it to here. That's the point of Great Streets. It was inspired mostly by the city of Indianapolis and what they've done there, and we can learn, and we can do this. We can. Okay.